Hello. How's it
We meet
going?
again. Not too bad. Um, we're going to have a nice little rapid review of our favorite, The Real Housewives of Vancouver, Season 1, Episode 5, Mending Fences and Burning Bridges.
I am
A
ready.
very, a very appropriate title for this episode. Here's a quick summary of what went on during the episode. Jody meets Ronnie for lunch. Reiko has her cars judged. Mary takes Christina for her birthday gift. Ronnie hosts a tennis day at her home. Jody is still renovating her catering company. Then Reiko goes for a fitting for a fashion show that she's going to be modeling in. Mary meets with Ronnie for lunch. Reiko has a photo shoot. Mary has drinks with Christina. Jody is making additional repairs to the exterior of her business, the building. Mary does a photo shoot for her scarf line. And then Mary invites the ladies to a penthouse suite at a local hotel. So, what do you want to dive into first?
I'm always a fan of doing rapid recaps in like the order of the show because it just makes more sense overall.
Mhm. Okay, so at the top, we see Jody and Ronnie having lunch. And Ronnie
Hmm.
seems a little bit bitter, and Jody seems very happy about that.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. It's like for some reason Jody's so invested in having their relationship fall apart. Like she takes pleasure in it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like,
And
why do you care so much? Like it's like you don't know Ronnie that well. Like what's the deal there? Like why are you so invested?
I think, again, she doesn't feel good about herself unless she's making others feel bad. And
Okay.
I was struck when Ronnie said that she doesn't know if she can trust Mary anymore. This is a 17-year relationship, and they're letting
Mm-hmm.
outside forces drive a wedge between them. I
Exactly.
don't
It's almost
know.
like,
It's
you
just,
know what?
yeah,
It's
it's
weird.
sad. Then we see Reiko at her house. She has this gentleman by the name of Nigel, who's a supercar judge, come over to inspect and rate her luxury cars to see if any of them would be able to participate in the luxury supercar weekend event that's coming up. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they ultimately decided on 3 of her cars being eligible for the event, which is amazing.
Right. It was a exactly. But the funniest like quote was like he's like, I didn't even know. I think it was her, the Ferrari GTO, the red car.
GTO.
He's like,
Mhm.
oh, I didn't even know we had one of these. Yeah. He's like, I didn't even know we had one of these in Vancouver. I was like, oh, okay, Reiko, I see you.
Mhm.
I see you.
Yep,
That was
yep,
cool.
and it was we get to learn a little bit about her because she said her passion for cars started in high school, taking shop class and repairing a old Honda.
79 Honda. Yep. I have a question for you.
Mhm.
Which car was your favorite?
The orange one. I don't know what it was, but
Okay,
I just like the color.
the Spider. I think it was the Spider. Um, my favorite actually was the Bentley.
Oh, I don't really like low cars. Like I basically like SUVs, period. But just the color of that
Mm,
car was very unusual. Um,
gotcha.
yeah, everything else was just a really low car. I'm too old to be like
Yeah.
climbing out of a car at my age. I'm sorry.
Stop.
So yeah, so she's very excited about that. And actually, she's like the only woman owner of these cars that's participating. And another unusual facet is that she races her cars, because like each of them have little dings
Right.
from taking them out on the track. And
Mm-hmm.
so he doesn't care. He's like, this is so unusual. She's the only woman out of all of the men who are participating. Super cool.
I was happy for her because like her cars are
Mhm.
like beautiful, they're great, and she loves them. So, some people buy real estate, some people buy shoes, some people buy alcohol. She buys cars. So I'm like, if you can afford to do it, then do it.
Yeah.
And you can tell she really like is a car enthusiast. So I like seeing that. Cause
Hmm.
we see like on these shows, we see handbags,
Closets.
we see like shoes, closets,
Hmm.
but to see
Hmm.
like she got her own garage, I thought it was like a very welcome sight. So I was
Hmm.
super excited for her.
It's bending those gender roles that we've, become used to. So it is pretty cool to see that. Um, the next thing that we see on the episode is Mary taking Christina to give her birthday present, which is eyelash extensions. Mary also tells Christina that she got a new car herself. It's instead of her old black Range Rover, she has a white Rover.
I was like, okay, if that's what you
Can you
want to do.
imagine all of the dings that are going to be on that because she can't drive?
Right. And any white cars, like with any scuff, any dink, everything shows on a white car. I'm like, you could just start with the black car,
Mm-hmm. She should have. But the black car she got
but you
from her
want something.
ex-boyfriend. So she wanted something new.
I don't understand these people and their exes. I don't understand these people and their exes. If they bought you something, you keep it. Quit playing. Just saying.
Well, if you want to upgrade, go back and get a new one from the ex-boyfriend. Don't buy it for yourself. See, this is why I like
Exactly.
Christina.
Exactly.
She said she wanted eyelash extensions for the longest time, but she'll take them now that somebody bought them for
Exactly. Go, Christina.
her. Mm-hmm.
Good job.
So they talk about the coast dinner. That's the one that Mary missed last week and left Christina by herself. So Christina gives her all the details about how she apologized to Jody, and they then start talking about how Jody and Ronnie are becoming friends,
Right.
and that's when Christina said the quote of the night for me. The only thing that those two have in common is 3 kids by 3 different men.
That took me out. I was like, yep, Christina just really took it there, and I think, and basically she said, and that's that on that. And she's like, we're going to keep this moving. That was, that's more than a dig. She just buried them with that one. Period.
If you didn't know, you know now. Wow. Okay.
Right.
So yeah, so it's all about these texts that have been going back and forth between Ronnie and Mary, and who
Mm-hmm.
showed who what first, where, when, why, how, whatever. But Mary says, oh, so she's showing so and so the text. I'm going to show the text to you because she's not showing you everything. So Mary proceeds to show all of the texts to Christina, and they are a bit um, heated on both ends towards each other in these texts.
Yep.
And Christina takes a stand and she goes, I support Mary. Those were horrible texts. So because of that, I'm not attending Ronnie's tennis outing at her house.
Which was dumb because the fight has nothing to do with you. That's just the way I look at it.
Yeah, and even Mary says she doesn't think it's a good idea, because inevitably there's going to be backlash, you
Yeah,
know?
it has nothing to do with you. Like their odds, like Ronnie has no issue with you, so you go to the tennis and have a good time, and let
Mhm.
Mary and Ronnie figure it out. You like going like not going to Ronnie's event out of protest for Mary is like dumb because if you are a thinking person, they've been friends 17 years. They've done
Mm-hmm.
this before. They've had these fallouts. I think they've said so in the past.
Yeah.
So what makes you think they aren't going to come back to each other anyway? Yeah, you were stupid
Yep.
for that. Sorry.
And you'll be left out in the cold. But okay, you live, you learn. Um, so now we have Ronnie's tennis day, and I couldn't help myself. I
Hmm.
had to take a picture of this tennis court at her home. Damn. Let me see if I can make it a little
I
bit
mean,
bigger.
is it me? Is it me, or is that a place where you could just sit on the court and just have lunch? I don't know.
It's beautiful. The
I was
view
really
is
impressed with
amazing.
that's the thing. It's the view. Oh my goodness.
And remember last week how she said they keep Spalding in business by all the balls that go in the water? Now we know why.
Hmm. And
Yeah.
I love the fact that every time Jody hit the ball in the water, she's like, "Oh, that's $10 a ball." That was so funny.
She's got to get her accountant because Jody admitted she'd never played tennis before. Reiko is very good.
Hmm.
Kiko, Kaiko, whatever, Seiko, Keiko. Reiko's mom is wiping the floor with all of them. She's a champion. So I love
Yeah. Oh, she
seeing her
wasn't. She
out there
wasn't
with
playing with
this.
them.
I know. She was
Yeah, she was not
good.
playing.
She was good, but this was the tennis court. What else happened while they were on the court? Um,
Oh, Didn't Christina call or no?
that's when
Jody
they
called
get to
Christina. They were prank
lunch.
calling Christina. Oh, we're not
That's
there
when
yet.
they
Okay.
get to lunch. Yes. So when they're finished playing tennis, I think someone asked when they were on the court, "Where's Christina?" So when they get to the lunch, which is here, they walk over to
Hmm.
Ronnie's home, which is beautiful in itself. And she has a beautiful lunch set up for them. And they decide, well, Jody decides to prank call Christina and pretend that she's calling from the Canadian IRS, so the tax department. And
Hmm.
I think Christina catches on pretty quickly.
She does.
Uh-huh. And when Jody puts her on to the supervisor, which is Ronnie, Christina hangs up on them. Christina
Right.
then proceeds to call Reiko to say that she's not coming in support of Mary. Dum dum.
Right, which is dumb dumb.
Yeah, because Ronnie's been drinking. And we all know when Ronnie starts drinking,
Oh,
it's a problem. So she
exactly.
snatches the phone and she tells Christina what to go and do with herself and her support for Mary. Oops.
Yeah. Ronnie and alcohol just don't mix. That's all.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
and you can tell when she's drinking. And this production company is real shady because the camera people zoom up on her face and her eyes are always glazed over. They're always looking in different
Yep.
directions. And then, like 2 minutes later, she
She's
starts
a little red.
slurring. Mhm. So it's,
They are this
I,
production company.
do you wonder who's driving her though? Because
I
every time
do.
I see her, I'm like, is this woman driving herself?
Production is there, so I'm sure they have a car service.
I hope so. I hope so. Because that's like every time I see her, like every episode, she's smashed. And I'm just
But if you
hoping that she's
notice,
not driving.
but have you
Hmm.
noticed we don't see her driving up to anywhere really?
That's why I'm just wondering about that.
Yeah,
Because
I would think she has the car service and she's walking to where she has to go. Because we don't, I've never seen her drive to and from anywhere, so which is a good thing.
okay. Well, I hope so. I hope so. So let me just stop this here because we don't really need it anymore. And so, okay. So the next scene is Jody in this damn renovation of her catering company. I think she had unrealistic goals at
Hmm.
the beginning for the timeline. And so she's just
Oh
set
yeah,
herself up for
totally,
failure. Yeah. You gut
exactly.
your
I
entire
was looking at that whole
business.
project.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I think there's a little bit of a lag. My
hmm
apologies. But I was just like, man, like you should have realistically, you should ask them like, hey, what's the timeline of this, and just left it at that, and let them do their work. Not set a
Not
deadline. Like, I want it done by this. Like, that's not happening.
not Jody. Not Jody. She's just a hot mess. Everyone around her is a hot mess. And
Hmm.
it's this little interlude with Mo, her contractor, was filler for me. I wasn't interested. Um,
Me neither.
Next, we see Reiko. She's going to this luxury boutique because she has to go and do a fitting for the clothes that she'll be wearing in the fashion show at the luxury car weekend thing. Um, so one of the dresses that she has actually has like tire marks in crystals going down the front of it, which I thought was pretty cool.
She looked great, and I was
hmm
happy. I was like, I'm glad you're doing this because you look phenomenal in the clothes. I mean, you could definitely be a model, and the fact that you're modeling for this like car show is even better. So I was happy. I was super happy for her, and it's nice to see her like do things because she's not arguing with the ladies. So we actually get to see her interests, which I love.
hmm Yeah, and they're so not the norm. Like she's not into shopping or jewelry. Well, she might be, but that's not her huge passion. It's the automobiles that are her real passion. So it's kind of refreshing to see something different from one of these housewives.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with that. She's not the typical housewife.
hmm Okay, so the next scene is Mary having lunch with Ronnie.
That was it went as well to be expected. We knew they were gonna be petty, we knew they were gonna argue, but we knew they were gonna be like come back to be friends again. So it went exactly how I thought it was gonna go.
Ronnie was drunk.
Well, like I said, like we knew what was gonna happen. I just left that part
Oh my
out. But
god.
now that you brought it up, Ryan was gonna show up toasted. They were gonna bicker. They were gonna like go back and forth, like you did this, no, you did this, I did this, blah blah blah, blah. And they were gonna be friends again. So yeah, it went exactly how we thought it was gonna go.
They couldn't even get through the first apology without going back into the argument. Like Ronnie seems to me like a woman who holds a grudge.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And they bicker like sisters, which makes it even funnier. To me, it makes it even funnier. They bicker like Ronnie's the older sister, Mary's the younger sister. Ronnie's like, "You're not listening to me," and Mary's like, "Well, it's my life." And Ronnie's like, "Well, I told you so. If you would just listen to me, blah 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 blah." They just have that relationship, which to me is hilarious.
I don't know. This isn't, as we see by the end of the episode, this is not ended here. They kind of leave us thinking that
Mm-mm.
all is good in the hood. No. No, 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 no. But we move on to the next scene, which is Reiko is at a photo shoot again for this luxury car weekend. It's like the brochure of the event, and she has to bring her GTO to this beautiful garden area along with other owners and their cars. And she's taking photographs with her car and professional models. She's the only girl there. And of course, the Ferrari salesman is there chatting her up, probably trying to see if he can sell her another Ferrari. And her
Mm-hmm.
biggest complaint is that she needs a bra.
That was so funny. I feel uncomfortable. I was, it's okay, Ronnie. You look good. You're fine.
No, she needed a bra. Again, she could have used the tape, duct tape.
Right. True.
Hmm.
Hmm.
But yeah, so she had a great time. She did admit though that when she was posing with the actual professional models that she felt a little old. But honestly, she didn't look old. She looked good.
No. She looked good, so I'm happy.
Okay, so the next scene, we see Mary having drinks with Christina. Christina tells Mary that she didn't go to the tennis day. She tells her about the phone prank that they tried to play on her and how Ronnie told her off. And then Mary tells Christina about her meeting up with Ronnie. And Mary,
Right.
reassures her and said, "I'll always have your back." I don't think
Hmm.
so.
It was just so funny because Christine's like, in her confession, like, well, like this sucks because I didn't go to the tennis event because I was supporting Mary, and now Mary and Ronnie are like friends again, and like now I'm on the outs with Ronnie. Well, no one told you not to go, so be quiet. No one, no whining.
Let's hope this is a lesson learned for little Christina. Um,
Exactly.
let's see. Da, da, da. Then they decide. Mary says that she's going to try to fix up Christina with a friend of hers. Um,
Right.
what was the name of this guy that she fixed her up with?
David,
Adam?
he's
David.
31. I think it's David. He's
31. Yeah.
31, and
Mm-hmm.
she's like he's a little young. I date older men, but then she sees like, oh, he is kind of attractive. I was like, okay, Christina.
I swear her
Oh my
libido
goodness.
is always on. You can marry the older men, but you can still play around with the younger ones. I mean,
Right.
she's
No,
frisky.
no, no, no qualms with that.
But he was cute though. He wasn't bad looking. God. What's the next? Oh, we go back to Jody. I was so irritated with her in this episode. She has an ivy plant that's destroying the outside of her building, and poor Mo, he's got to try to fix this again. Did you see a big hole in the
Hmm.
side of the building, or was that just me?
I thought when was it Mia or Maya or
Mm-hmm.
child's name is jumped in the
Mm-hmm.
truck, and I thought when she drove out, I thought she pulled like I thought there was a hole inside the building. That's what I thought.
She pulled off a chunk of the ivy from the top part of the building, but
Okay.
down at the bottom, there already seemed to be like missing bricks.
Oh,
Like,
I didn't peep
fix
that.
your
I didn't got now.
building.
Yeah,
Fix your
very
building.
important.
So yeah, that
But
was
that
her
was
latest
funny.
dilemma. It, I thought I thought it was annoying. And I don't
If I,
understand how Mia or Jody thought that those construction men were going to get into her Hummer and like rev it and tear it down the street when they know they can't afford to fix it. So I would have been very gingerly pressing the gas on that myself. Let Mia go and
yes,
screw
but
up
it's
her
not
mom's car.
exactly. It's not my stuff, so I'm not doing it. But your daughter, go ahead.
Hmm. Okay, so now we see Mary. She's actually at a photo shoot for her scarf line that she's doing in conjunction with her friend. They're at the Kiefer Hotel. They're in the presidential suite, and Mary looks good. She says that she doesn't feel comfortable modeling, but I thought she looked wonderful.
She's just stunning. She looks stunning. So it's just you always judge yourself, especially being in the limelight like she was, and she's judging her 40-year-old self against her 20-year-old self. So that's why I think that's why she feels the way she feels. But she looked great. Great job to her.
Okay, gotcha. I can agree with that. I can agree with that. So after the photo shoot, Mary has invited all the ladies over to the presidential suite to hang out and have some drinks or whatever. And it starts off fine. And then there's some argument, like there's a debate on whether Jody is or isn't Jewish. And that starts up the argument between Mary and Ronnie, and with Jody setting, like dropping the match on the gasoline. It just happened so quickly. and so irrationally. And then next thing you know, Mary's like, get out. And Jody's telling Christina, come on, let's go. And then we end with with this unexpected mess. Um, these ladies actually got a little physical by the elevator. I, how did you take this
And also,
scene?
I was just like, what happened? It went from like 0 to 100 like in 5 seconds. Like, y'all, really, y'all arguing over someone else's religion, culture? Are you serious? Like,
Mm-hmm.
no, 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 inappropriate. And then
But you
like I was
noticed
trying to make it out,
Jody.
like who
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I was like, who I can't remember, like who pushed who.
I think it was Ronnie because I don't know if you can see it, but
Are you
Ronnie is
able to put?
trying to. Hmm?
Are you able to play that? Is it just a clip? Are you able
No,
to play
this
it
is
or
just
no?
a picture. This is
A
just
still,
a
just a still.
picture, but I'm
Okay,
going to blow it up a little bit more. Okay.
okay,
So this is Ronnie right here. And this is Mary right here. But look, this is Reiko's arm. I think she's trying to separate these two. And Mary's
right.
pulling her hand back as if somebody had it. You know what I mean? Or like somebody,
Hmm.
it's just very, I think Ronnie is kind of the aggressor here.
Got it. That's the way I was looking
Because,
at it, but I just
oh,
wanted to see your
and look
perspective.
at this hand here, which is also trying to hold back Ronnie. And I bet you that is probably, do you think that's Jody's hand because there's a wedding ring?
I think that's probably Jody's hand.
This was just a
'Cause
whole on
I could
mess.
see, yeah, I could see Christina being on Mary's side of the picture, and Jody on Ronnie's side with Reiko beside Jody. That configuration makes sense. Even though we can't see it, it's possible
Mhm.
that that's the way it's set up.
Yeah, and this was like the last scene of the show. Like, the hell happened?
Is this? I think what's happening is Ronnie like is drunk again,
Mhm.
and which seems to be a recurring theme. And then you mix that with her and Mary's underlying tension, because I think Ronnie feels replaced by Christina. I think that's the crux of the issue. And then Mary's upset that Ronnie and Jody are becoming friends because we know Mary doesn't like Jody, Jody doesn't like Mary. So I think what's happening here overall is these two longtime friends are questioning each other's loyalty, and that's the crux of the issue.
This whole episode was crazy. It was just crazy.
But so entertaining.
Yes. So
I loved it.
I I can't wait for next week. Do you remember what the preview was for next week? Was there another argument?
I don't, but I hope we get to see a reunion.
I think yes. I think there's a good reunion for season one. Um, I really wasn't expecting this. I wasn't expecting the physicality from these ladies.
Neither,
I
but
thought that they were all very super posh and above that, you know.
they're like posh with a smidge of ratchet, especially when they get drunk, and they have the money to be ratchet and posh. So I'm here for it.
Well, I think it's a like different ratchet to each of the women. Like Ronnie is like drunk ratchet, and
Right?
Christina is like a sexual ratchet.
Mm-hmm.
Reiko is the only one that isn't like ratchet.
Right. It's because she's like Rachel's too busy with her cars. That's why.
Yeah, and Mary's kind of like the dumb one. And then you
Fair.
have Jody, who's just manipulative ratchet.
Right. She's like she's like the less polished version of LVP.
Yeah, but I still think like there is an undercurrent of viciousness and meanness to Jody that I don't think MVP had. Like
Right. Like I said,
Lisa
she's a much
Vanderpump
less
was
powerful person.
likable. Yeah, Lisa was likable. Jody's not
Yes.
likable. I hate to say that.
Right. And it's sad that Jodie hasn't been likable since episode 1. I'm sorry.
It's so true. She
Just
hasn't
saying.
been likable at all in any episode. Oh dear.
Mm-mm.
Well, I'm looking
But this
forward
was
to
a good
next
show,
week.
though. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yes, me too.
Me too.
Um, if you like the content, and again, that was The Real Housewives of Vancouver, Season 1, Episode 5, Mending Fences and Burning Bridges. And these ladies are doing both. Um, please join us next week for Episode 6, the review of that. If you like the content, please hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell and share with your
Mm-hmm.
friends if you want to join the content. Um, until next time, see you
All right,
then.
everybody. Bye.